and welcome back to TreeJo's. I'm Flame Nash, and I'm here with my best friend Dr. Jones. And today, as we talked about last time when we talked about Primer, we're doing source code here today. So I guess just some
Yes.
background about why we chose this film. So I'm actually the one that recommended this. Sorry,
Yeah,
we're veg.
we didn't rig the list or anything.
No, never.
No, never.
I think we're gonna at least maybe one day we'll get back to viewer recommended. I think we have a backlog of a couple
Maybe.
films that we want to actually look at. So this was actually one of them that I recommended, and we put in the list and got randomized. So how I stumbled across this was my older brother actually. He went and saw this back when it was in the Dollar Theater, and he really enjoyed it. So when I was asking around for movies a while back, last almost a year ago now actually,
Shit.
it's weird to think about a year ago, I was holding off and I was just kind of bored and asked for movies, and this was one that recommended. I watched it and I really enjoyed it, so I was like, yeah, let's do a review. So I've kind of set down my thoughts, just kind of review. I think unless you have anything to add before we get started to the summary, Dr. Jones, uh,
Um,
we can get started to the review. Get started to the basic plot summary. Thoughts
I
so
think
far? I guess just general thoughts.
um, I think I'll give my thoughts towards the end of the video because I don't. But other than that, I mean, you're the one who introduced me to this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched it with my brother. He got hooked on it, and we really liked it. Thought it was a really interesting movie.
Mm-hmm. So I guess if no other comments, um, if not, forever hold your peace here. Um, until later. I guess we'll start talking about just the general summary as we've kind of always done, just kind of a summary, and as we go
Hmm.
through, we'll talk about favorite scenes. So we start off. It's really abrupt. I mean, if you
Yeah,
remember back, it's abrupt, and you just get thrown right into it, and you know
it's like right on
nothing.
the train.
You know nothing. The character knows nothing, and you really. I think one of my favorite things about this film is the narrative. I think they do the narrative real well. Of the watcher doesn't know, maybe knows a little bit more, but only knows about as much as the main character at this time.
Hmm.
The main character can make these assumptions, and then you can also make these assumptions. They can go in completely opposite ways, but you start piecing these things together like he does.
Yeah.
I think it's real interesting. So we have our main character. He has a name on the train.
Stevens, right? Oh no.
No, that's his actual name.
Um, it's the guy he is on
Yeah,
the
it's
train,
it's the
right?
guy.
Uh,
I can't think of it. I want to say like Sean or something. I think it was like
I think it was Sean.
I think something like that. Um, so we have our main character, and we'll explain why there's two different and everything. So
Yeah.
we start off with him. He's really confused and everything, kind of just waking up at this point. He's really confused, doesn't know where he is and everything, and we just see him. He's on a train talking to this woman.
Mhm.
A woman sitting across from him. It's like it seemed like they were in a conversation, if I remember correctly, at least before he
Yeah.
got up. So we go forward, and he goes through 8 minutes. So, and we'll talk about the premise in a little bit.
Yeah.
He goes through these 8 minutes, kind of confused, kind of try to piece everything together, and try to figure out where he is and all that. And then the 8 minutes, and then the train explodes.
Mhm.
So then he wakes up, and he's in like a cockpit, I believe. I think it
Yes, it's like some sort of cockpit.
was a cockpit that was then kind of. It's explained later as the source code. He's inside the
Mhm.
source code. They did that. They titled it after one of the major premises, and then kind of this gets explained on later on and everything. We see a couple repetitions. We see plenty of repetitions throughout it.
Oh yeah.
I think just in the actual film, there's at least 10, but it's hinted at there's more behind the scenes of constant
Yeah, I think it
repeating.
was like because he keeps getting
He's trying to
uh
figure everything out, trying to figure out who's
yeah,
at the
I
bomb,
think
where the bomb. He knows where the bomb is, trying to figure out who and all that.
who the bomber is,
Who the
right?
bomber is. Yep.
And he goes like something like 52 times or something crazy like that.
It's a lot. I can't tell you exact number, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Um. So we have all that. So I guess let's talk about the actual premise of source code at this
Hmm.
point. It's a government project that is designed to hold someone in stasis, as we have our main character, Colter Stevens.
Yeah.
His actual name, his actual character, um, who, interestingly enough,
He was a pilot,
he
right?
was a pilot for Vietnam. He was deployed. He crashed.
Or I think it was Afghanistan.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, Afghanistan.
it was one of the wars.
Eh,
It was either Afghanistan. No, it was definitely Afghanistan. Vietnam was gonna be way before this.
yeah, it was like 70s.
Um, yeah, it was definitely Afghanistan, I believe. I think. No, it definitely it was Afghanistan, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it says it right here on Wiki.
that would have been nice.
Okay.
So he's deployed there. He's a he's a pilot. He's a fighter pilot, and his plane crashes.
Yeah. And he is believed to be dead.
He's believed to be dead. His father, he's done statements. He's done talk, just kind of whining. He's like, I believe he wasn't on good standing with his father.
No, he
He
wasn't.
wasn't, and it hurt him. I mean,
Hmm.
he thinks he's alive. So the actual actor, I guess we should talk about who the actor does this. The person who plays the person who plays him, Colter Stevens, is the same person who plays Mysterio in the new Spider-Man movie. And I just
Jake
dated,
Gyllenhaal.
yep, and I just dated it because I said new.
Yes. This was done in 2011, I believe.
Yeah, I believe. I'm trying to think. Is this one of his first starts?
I could hear him on IMDb right now.
I think. I don't know when he started, but he seems like a fairly young actor, so this might have been one of his starting films.
I think the latest thing, or the furthest thing that he has on here, as in terms of acting, was in 1991, City Slickers.
Never mind, I take that back. He's apparently not as young as I thought he was. He looked young, so this is definitely not one of his starting films. I take that
I'm
back.
trying to think. He was actually, interesting enough, he was supposed to be the Spider-Man in the Spider-Man 2. Because Tobey Maguire was doing Seabiscuit, and he hurt his back during it. So he was going to be the replacement, but he never ended up being Spider-Man.
Now he turned into a villain for Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he never got to be
It
Spider-Man.
makes so much sense now.
Anyway, he's believed to be dead, and I think the military uses him for this source code.
He's one of the few. So how source code works is he's one of the few that can have the neural link.
Hmm.
Which is why he's used. As very few others are able to. And because of this, yeah, so he's instructed by the director and all of this. That's like, yeah, no, you're being used for this.
And you have no choice.
So we have another girl. I'm trying to think of her name. It's the one actually in the government.
I know her. Vera Farmiga, and she was Colin Goodwin, I think.
Yeah, it was Goodwin. There we go.
Goodwin, yeah. And she was the one who was operating the system, trying to get as much information as he can about the whereabouts of the bomber, or who the bomber is.
Which, I mean, we still, I don't think, actually have talked about the concept of, like, what the source code. I mean, we talked about what the background is. So, the concept of the source code, is, as we mentioned, it's a government project that allows for the government, and how they set it up is it's a mindset where it's a mindset.
It's kind of confusing.
Well, it's somewhat confusing, but not entirely. I mean,
It's it allows you to go. It's like a simulation almost, right?
So
It lets you.
it allows you to relive the last 8 minutes of a person's death.
Mm-hmm. And
Before they
their idea.
because consciousness, as they understand it, it has a fragment that is left 10 minutes before.
Yeah. Allowing him to go in 8 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm. So during these 8 minutes,
He's like uploaded into the consciousness of whatever the guy's name is, and he's on this train.
mm-hmm. And
And he has
his
to
main
figure
goal is to,
terrorists.
as we've mentioned, figure out what the plans of the terrorists are.
Yeah, and to prevent further terrorist attacks.
So by doing this, it allows everything, and stop terrorist attacks. So kind of now that we've kind of gone over at least the major premise, and my dogs are going wild in the background. I don't know if you can
It
hear that at
happens.
all.
Yeah, well, my brother just tried to walk into my room, so.
So
But yeah.
yeah, with all that premise and everything, I think we can start talking about major. So we have it, and kind of as we've talked about, it's real interesting. It's real hard to describe because it's a lot of the hour. I think it's about an hour and a half, right? It's a little over an hour and a half.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like an
about
hour
like
and a
a
half or
hour and a
something.
half.
And a lot of that movie is the character trying to figure out what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like real difficult to explain. Like it's a matter of Goodwin giving hints, the director telling him it doesn't matter what happens
Just
in the universe because you can't change anything. So he attempts to change it, but he always
yeah, he
ends up
attempts to save the
dying.
girl,
Attempts to save the
but
girl.
it doesn't matter
It doesn't
because
matter because it's just a fragment and it's a different universe. So what happens in source code won't actually change what happens
in the real
in
world,
real world,
right?
at least in the universe that they're in.
Yeah,
So it goes through. He's starting to piece everything together, figure it out. He figures it out actually, and then
mm-hmm.
dies.
Yeah. His final wish was to go back into the source code and
Mm-hmm.
save all the people on the train,
Yeah.
and then
So
be.
he figures it out. He figures out it was in a van, and then he dies in the source code because he gets shot, and then his
Yeah.
girlfriend, the woman that shot him across, he's like, "Who are you? You're a nobody. Why do you care? Blah blah blah." He misses his timing.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Generic villain stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think he monologues. He just kind of shoots up. It's like, "I'm so sorry. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time, dude."
Yeah.
And then his final wish is like he lets them know. He's like his final wish to Goodwin is, let me go in the source code one more time.
And save the people on the
and let
train.
me attempt to save the people on the train. And then
Yeah.
once I'm done, I want you to turn it off. I want you to turn off the source code and let me die.
Because he's pretty much lives in it now because
he's forced to live in it as he can't.
because
go
it's
back.
kind of like his life support now.
And constantly, he actually has a watch where he sets the timer on, like he consistently does for the 8 minutes and everything.
Yeah.
And he catches it. He lets the police knows everything in this world, and the 8 minutes happen. He turns off the source code, and magically, even though everything points towards it shouldn't have happened, he lives in the source code now.
He lives in the source. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of hints towards it, as everything's described as it's not real. It's a different universe, and what you do there
Mhm.
won't affect it. So I mean, like, it could be. It is kind of hinted towards that. these could be just different universes you're living in.
Yeah, it creates different universes.
Hmm. And the moment when you die, you just go back to the original.
Mm-hmm.
Because it definitely
But they
has.
turned the machine off, so he didn't
He
return.
couldn't
He
return.
just
He
stayed in the
stayed.
source code.
Also, he didn't die, so that kind of helps.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's actually a real. I mean, there are definitely plot holes there because of like that concept and everything. But I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
look over them, I
I
think it was
agree.
actually it's actually a really good movie.
I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
This is a movie I never heard of. I
Yeah.
thought it was really good.
I guess again we didn't really talk about it. We kind of went over the main premise. What were some of your favorite scenes? I'm kind of curious.
um, I really liked when probably just the first scene where we first see him on the train and he's just trying to figure everything out because,
Hmm.
like you said, it's the audience and the main character. We know like this as we don't really know what's going on, and it's interesting just to see him try to figure out what's going on.
Hmm.
And that's the scene that really hooked me and my brother on the movie and got us to watch, the whole thing. But I really like that one. Um, yeah.
Is that about it? Is that like one of your?
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite scenes.
I mean, I don't blame you. It was a real good scene as we kind of talked about previously. Um, I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've last saw it, so
Yeah. Bit
um,
rusty.
yeah. I think I have to agree with you. I think that was also one of my favorite scenes. I think it has great purpose and everything.
It really does just a great job of hooking the audience. I was even talking about this with my brother, and it's like Groundhog's Day, where this guy keeps living the same day over and over, but it has like this added mystery and action to it.
I'm curious. When was Groundhog Day released?
Let me see. Groundhog's Day. 1993 with Bill Murray.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like there was Groundhog Day inspiration in it.
Yeah. Except they like up the action. Made it more.
I mean, I hope they up the action.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty good
If
movie.
if Groundhog's Day was that action packed, then I definitely need to see that movie now.
No, it wasn't really action packed at all.
I mean, I've seen clips. It's like I don't remember it being that action packed.
It had a Super Bowl commercial this year.
Did it really?
Yeah, there was one. It had Bill Murray and some of the other characters returned. But yeah.
That's cool.
So this is our source code / Groundhog's Day review.
I mean, not really
Listeners.
Groundhog's Day. Just kind of. It definitely had Groundhog's Day inspiration, so we're talking about it for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Really, I can't really think of anything else to talk about. I think we've talked about a favorite scene. I think it definitely is a movie you have to watch.
Yeah, I mean, there really isn't much to talk about because it's just the most of the movie is just him reliving the same events, just differently.
Yeah, I mean it's
But this
definitely.
is a must watch, I think.
I definitely think. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. Definitely is if not, if not a must watch, then a definitely think about it watch.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think it's time for our rating. I think this is definitely gonna be one of the shorter ones we've done.
Yeah,
It's real
definitely.
difficult to describe it because it's a lot of doing the same thing over and over again.
It's like the same scenes, just him trying to figure out who the bomber is. If you like action thrillers, this is a movie you'll probably enjoy. But yeah, with that, I think we should go to review.
Yeah, I think we've kind of done a review already, but I think it's our final
Final
like
thoughts.
ratings and all that.
Yeah.
Explanations rating. I'll let you go first. Actually, I'm curious to what you rated it, and I've done it quite a handful of times recently. Also, first.
So, me and my brother just got hooked on this movie, as I've said before. I liked it, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would give it like a 7.5.
7.5.
Like, it was a pretty solid movie. Like the characters. Mysterio was great in this movie. It was awesome to see his origin story unfold.
Yes, this was definitely his origin story.
Yes.
I can't think of a better origin story for him.
I think just check it out, okay? Check the movie out. So what do you think?
I definitely agree with
Gosh.
you. I think it's like a great action thriller. I think it's definitely fantastic. It keeps you on the edge. I think sometimes
It
it definitely
does.
slows down, so it's definitely not a perfect movie, and it kind of is. It gets monotonous a bit at some points. I think it's just constant repeating, but they change up everything during every repetition. It's not the same, but it's the same area. It's the same places. It's different actions,
Mm-hmm.
but same people. Um, And then there's definitely at points where we see the main character go into desperation and all that.
Yeah.
So it's not a great movie. I mean, it's definitely one of the better movies I've seen, to be honest. And if we ever do get around to some of the viewers suggested, it definitely will be one of the better movies we'll review here.
Shark Exorcist.
Another gay movie. But it's definitely. I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, overall, I think I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. I think it's definitely about a 7.5,
It's worth checking out.
It's definitely worth checking out if it's the type of thing that we've described. So yeah, I think next time we're actually going to start on the Spider-Man movies. I don't know if we'll actually finish them before
Yeah.
we're done with this, or if we'll ever actually get around to finishing them. But I think what we agreed on is that we were agreeing on
Spider-Verse, right?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
It's critically acclaimed, even though it came out like 2 years ago. Was it 2017 movie?
I think it was 2017. Didn't they
No,
win
it's
like?
2018. It's a 2018 movie. Is it?
Oh yeah.
It's 2 years ago.
I think they won an award too.
It is, and I think a sequel.
Best animated film
Yep,
of the year.
I believe so. And I believe they're doing
A
either
sequel.
a sequel's coming out this year or next year. It's coming out in the next
I
couple of
think.
years.
Yeah, it's gonna have more Spider-Mans.
I'm real
or
curious
Spider-Man.
what they're gonna do to it.
I'm just hoping for superior Spider-Man.
I mean,
That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see.
um,
Yeah.
2022. Yep,
2022.
2022. So 2 years from now, April 8th, 2022 is the supposed release date for Into the Spider-Verse 2.
So maybe in a couple years you'll
yeah,
see another
we'll
upload
have
on
a
here.
reunion.
Jeez.
So yeah, I think we're gonna do that next. So I think we're gonna get started on everything else. No promises afterwards.
Yeah, no
go
promises.
afterwards, but I think that's something we're playing on. So expect that within the next coming weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks all. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And this has been TreeJo, and I'm Flame Ash.
And this is Dr. Jones, and we're signing off.
Hope to see you next time.